All right, good evening. My name's Nate. I know it's the end of the night now. You're probably all a little bit tired, had a few beers, and if you're like me, you're still reeling from Jordan's comment about streaking. I don't have anything to match that, but I hope you can stay awake for the next 3 minutes. So I'm going to pitch Student Minds Australia. There's been a lot of research coming out of the higher education sector over the last few years that's indicated one of the biggest societal problems that people aren't talking about. University students are at extraordinarily high risk of mental illness and psychological distress. The Student Minds Australia philosophy is that it is students themselves who are best placed to understand the causes of this and to therefore design the solutions. So Student Minds Australia starts up and then supports Student Minds chapters on individual university campuses. These are made up of student change makers, completely driven by students, supported by a national organisation. And they run activities and events geared towards promoting awareness around mental health, improving education, challenging stereotypes, showing students where the support is. Now, in terms of our impact, I would liken it to the effect of throwing a pebble in a pond. So if you imagine the pond is a university campus, which I'm sure you all do anyway, then in the middle, where the ripple is strongest, that's the student volunteers themselves who are running these chapters. They develop psychological resilience, psychological awareness, a lot of skills that will help them in the graduate world. Take the ripple a little bit further, and you reach the high-risk student groups that our programs would be targeting. So here we're talking about international students, Indigenous students, who are high dropout risks and high mental illness risks. Take the ripple right out to the edge, and you've got the wider student population. And these may come across the events and activities, campaigns run by Student Minds chapters. They may learn a bit more about how to keep themselves mentally healthy on a daily basis, may learn more about the risks of alcohol, or perhaps they'd identify where a friend of theirs could get support. It's an approach that's already been very successful over in the UK, which, as you may have noticed, is where I'm from, and also in the US, but it's not been trialled in Australia, but that is all going to change. So in terms of my own background and suitability for this, my experience comes from first having experienced depression myself when I was a student during my first couple of years. Following on from that, I set up the equivalent of a Student Minds chapter in the UK, and then ran operations for the national organisation in the UK as we scaled up to 25 universities. It's a model I understand really well. I know the value of it, and it's an area I'm still very passionate about. Avoid the mic. And so far, the project's gained a lot of traction over just a short period of time. We've got a pilot going, and we've gathered a lot of national support over just a period of a few months. So to end, I'd like to bring it back to the big picture, and that is that this generation of students are the next generation of global leaders. Now, university is a fantastic time to be able to learn, grow, make mistakes, and essentially set a platform for a world that has a lot of challenges. At the moment, the high rates of mental illness and psychological distress mean that this isn't happening. My hope is that through Student Minds Australia, and with the support of the Vibewire team and space, that we can change this. Thank you.